Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Kick a Ball podcast. I'm your host for today, Danny Lang, all the way out in New York. And here with me, we've got Jonathan Gomez of Orange County Soccer Club. How you doing today, my man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good, just hanging around. Glad we get to interview. Back in school, but that ain't keeping me away from the interviews.
For sure. Appreciate
All
it, man.
right.
Appreciate it.
So let me know what's going on right now. What's going on in your mind, in your head, with the club, everything that's going on right now? What's the current status? What's it look like for you?
Yeah, so I came back like I'd say probably like 3 months ago, from a really big injury, and obviously came back kind of getting a few minutes with the academy, just trying to like get fit and stuff like that. I wasn't the fittest. I actually came back like 20 pounds more than like I am now. I was like 153, now I'm 137, so trying to like work my way like to get fit. But yeah, currently just right now in preseason with Orange County, the first team. So yeah, feeling pretty good right now.
That's exciting. So now I know you really were making a lot of those huge starts during the preseason at like 16 years old. You're 18, 19 now and still on that first team, still in that conversation.
Yeah, I'm still there. Obviously, like there's been a lot of ups and downs with the injuries and stuff like that, but just happy to be there right now. It's a good level right now, so that's good.
So tell me about the trust that these coaches have gotten you though, too. I mean, and we'll get into your story.
Yeah.
I'll let you tell everything about your story. I don't ever want to go into the details on my own just because they're not my own, but like what are the relationships with these coaches have been like to where they know consistently, look, we can count on Jonathan to bring him into this preseason to show him what he's got to be able to make those pro starts if we need him to. Like
Yeah.
what's the relationship like? I gotta imagine it's really strong, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, obviously the coach, the staff, it's amazing at OC, they take care of you. They do really like they value like a lot of like teenagers and stuff like that. I know there's been like a lot of moves like I don't know if you know Karady and Kobe. There's been like a lot of those big moves. There's also some other players right now like Bryce and Ben that are also young that are getting more like opportunities with the first team. So they do really well in that sense compared to like I think other teams that are in the USL or in the MLS.
Mhm.
But yeah, being with them for 3 years, obviously like I wasn't able to experience the preseason last year because I picked up the injury like a month before it. But the other 3 seasons I've been with them and it's been amazing. It's been a good journey to be honest. So
Wow.
yeah.
And so you've got this unique perspective of already being in this pro environment at such a young age. And I mean, everyone knows where you've really shined has been those starts or at least those performances that you've been able to get at 16 years old. Loudon, Tulsa, I believe were two of the games in USL, but then also I think a friendly against Hamburg, I believe.
Yeah, Hamburg, that was a good game. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So tell me about some of those matches though too. Like that
Yeah,
it's
no.
well, I gotta imagine like about that kind of stuff.
For sure, yeah. I mean, obviously my first year, I think I was probably rostered like a decent, like a handful amount of times, probably like, I don't know, if like 15, 20 times. Unfortunately, like out of those times, like I didn't get most of them. I didn't get the opportunity to like play like as much or at all that those games. But obviously, my pro debut, I was like feeling like all types of emotions. You know what I mean? But at the time, I had this guy named Kubo. He's not in OC no more, but he kind of helped me. Kubo and Kevin. Kevin is also a guy in the OC. He's still there actually, but they kind of helped me because they kind of just calmed me down. They told me like just focus on the first like 5 passes. Once you focus on the first 5 passes, you should be good. You'll be like calm, and that really did help me. Obviously like I was scared coming into it. I was nervous. I was excited. I was like anxious. But no, I think that the pro debut was good. I like it was like a dream come true to be honest. I remember the people were like chanting. It was amazing. It was at 16, so it was a really good experience to be honest, man.
Damn, like getting the driver's license and then being able to go in for Orange County. I mean, I don't know what it lined up as, but
Yes.
I can't imagine they were too far away.
Yeah, no, no, no. I mean, I remember I was actually at Loyal Academy. So
Okay.
before I joined Loyal Academy, I actually did tryouts for the OC Academy,
Hmm.
and then I ended up choosing Loyal just because I'm from San Diego originally, and that was like a probably like a 20-minute drive compared to like an hour and a half drive. And then yeah, I was at Loyal for a season, and then I ended up transferring to the first team of OC, and then Yeah, the drives actually I didn't even have a driver's license at that point. I would go in the train. Yeah, I literally go
Oh,
in the
okay.
train for my first like year and a half. I'd just be in the train and then I'd have to walk like a 30-minute walk to the sessions, bro. It was like a crazy experience, but yeah.
But you know what? That's the kind of thing that you got to sacrifice sometimes. You got to figure out the way that you got to get into training with your situation, and that's not something that stopped you, clearly.
Yeah, for sure. No. Appreciate that.
No, of course. So having been in this pro environment
Yeah.
since really 16 years old, these past 3 years, it's not something that you really see. Some of these guys that I do a lot of the interviews with, they don't get
Yeah.
those first touches in pro minutes until they're 22 years old, where they're graduating after the 4 years. How do you think being involved in the pro environment now at this age, still being a really young guy, even if you were to
Yeah.
start your pro career at 19, what do you think
Mhm.
that's like for you in soccer wise and personally too?
No, I mean, I think that it grows like character in me, obviously, even just with the sessions, kind of just like being around the environment. I think it definitely grew me from like compared to like when I was playing club, kind of teaches me to be more smart in situations. But for example, like tackles, also like more aggressive, obviously, but like kind of just like ease into it and then kind of just like relax and be calm and stuff like that. Obviously, I pick up a lot of stuff from other players, like I was saying, like Kevin. I pick up a lot of stuff from him. He's in my position, so
Yeah.
he's like one of the guys I look up to. Obviously, there's Kyle there that's like amazing at his footwork. So obviously, I always like being in an area where like I'm not the best one, or like I'm competing against guys that are always like one step ahead of me, because it just teaches me more stuff. So yeah.
No, very, that's dope. That's interesting. And that's something that, yeah, I think a lot of guys sometimes get accustomed and into wanting to be that first guy right away, the first dude of the position, someone who's just is always going to be able to eat away at getting those starts, even if you're not putting that best week into training, maybe the week before.
Yeah.
And that's not something that it seems like has ever been, you know, necessarily on your mind where you've always had to put in that work when you're able to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I appreciate you giving me the insight, at least, relatively now and broadly, but I want to give you the time now to tell me every bit of your soccer story. And I always say
Yeah.
that to guys like moving forward, but I
Yeah.
want to hear every detail. So
Mhm.
I'll let you take it from now. I'll shut up for a little while, but I want to hear everything, man.
From like day one of like OC
Day
or like,
one. Day
yeah.
day one of
Okay.
day one. I want to hear like from
I got you.
San Diego
Yeah.
days,
Okay.
your first memories. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. No. Yeah. So I used my like last club team was Surf, San
Mhm.
Diego Surf, and obviously like it was a good club team, obviously, but in my like mindset, I was always like, okay, I'm playing at a good level, but I want to play like MLS or stuff like that, you know. So I remember at the time I wanted to get out of Surf, and my head was just like, I want to go to MLS Academy. You know what I mean? And at the time, I did go to trial for LAFC and for Real Salt Lake, right? And then obviously like those were good experiences, but then I ended up getting like a random call from one of my coaches. He's a scouter at OC. Um he ended up calling me telling me like, "Hey, we need numbers for the first team." I don't know if you're open to coming because he knew me from how I told you like I was at Loyal, but then before Loyal, I made the decision to like choose them over OC because that's when I kind of met him,
Right. Yeah.
there, yeah, through those trials from OC, and he liked me. Obviously, I played good when we played against him at OC,
Mhm.
and he ended up reaching out saying like, "Hey, we need numbers for OC. I don't know if this is a really good opportunity for you, so I would want you to come in. The plan is for you to just come in 2 weeks."
Sure.
And I was like, "No, no, for sure. I'm like really excited." I was coming in. I came in for 2 weeks. That was a plan. Like it was just supposed to be 2 weeks, and that was it. And then obviously, like I tried to do my best, and then obviously like the manager and the coach, like they really liked how I did, and they basically told me that they wanted to get me like an Academy Pro contract, and see like further from there.
Right.
And obviously, I was just stunned because at first it was like obviously it was a chance that like I was willing to take,
Mhm.
but more than that, I was just like in my head I was like, oh, MLS Academy, or like I want to do this, I want to do that, and then like another bigger chance just came to me where it was like a pro team telling me
Mhm.
that they want me to be a part of their team. So that was obviously like nerve-wracking but also amazing, you know what I mean?
Right.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I ended up signing. I ended up training with them like every day. I got I got like I told you a handful of times I got rostered. I played like I'd say like 2 3 times in the USL. It was good experiences, you know. It really was. It was like nervous because I'm 19 and I'm over here. Like I remember probably my first like 2 3 weeks, I was coming in like really aggressive and like I wanted to just win the ball and this and that. But I'm gonna be honest, like I wasn't coming in really smart. I was kind of like not injuring players, but I was like not being so thoughtful of that.
Got
And
it.
then like they kind of calmed me down. They were like, hey, like you're in a pro environment now, like you need to be smart about this, you know. So obviously, like I think that a lot of that stuff like helped me along my way, you know, even from an early age, kind of like them calming me down, them kind of just like showing me like, hey, this is the right way to do it, you know. And no, it's definitely been a good experience. That was my first year. My second year, I actually like I had a couple injuries too, just small injuries, like ankles and stuff like that. Nothing crazy, but I'm gonna be honest, like I was performing at a good level, but not the level that I like feel like I could have.
Mm.
For probably like the first like 3 4 months, and then what's it called? I ended up like not like kind of losing my like starting position with the academy actually too, and then I was actually kind of like annoyed, you know. Obviously, like it gets me because I've never been in a situation where like I lose my starting position, you know, and that kind of just like ticked me, and I kind of just woke up. I feel like, and then I remember having a talk with my academy coach, kind of telling him like, hey, like trust me, I got it. I'm gonna focus from here. Like I got it, you know, because like we were going through losses. Like I remember at that time the academy was going through like we were like fifth in the league, and usually we're like first or second, you know.
Right.
And I remember, yeah, after that talk, I think we went like 6 months and a half without losing a game with the academy. So it was actually really, yeah, it was crazy. And then obviously we went to Florida. We made it to playoffs because we got first. So we went to Florida, and then yeah, in Florida we ended up winning our first game, which was round of 16, and then the quarterfinals, which was like I think the like biggest game of like it was the most important game because the other team was really good. I don't recall what the other team was, but yeah, we were tied, and then I actually picked up the injury that I told you about, the ACL injury, which was unfortunate because you know like I had all the adrenaline going in, and so I'm just like running, and then the like grass was super dry. So like I wouldn't blame it on the grass, but like it was really dry, and my foot just ended up getting stuck, and it just kind of like pulled out, and it was like it was a bad video, but yeah, I ended up picking up an injury. I remember the trainers came in and they told me I had to get out of the game, and I remember I was mad. I was like full of adrenaline, so like it hurt, but it didn't hurt as much as like it hurt like 2 hours later, you know. And I remember telling the coach like, "Hey, I want to go in. I want to go in." And one of my teammates went in for me, and I remember I was mad. I was like, "No, I need to go in. We need to win this game. It's 0-0 right now." And then fortunately we ended up winning that game. We went to overtime, and then we went to pens, and then we won. Then we moved to the semis, we won that, and then the finals, unfortunately, like we weren't able to win that. I remember my coaches and even like the players were like kind of like mad at me. Not mad at me, but like they were kind of disappointed because they were like, "Bro, Johnny, come on, you could play." Because like I'm the type of person that like even if I'm hurt, which is not like the best situation, I've kind of like calmed down in it. But I'll push my way through it if I know it's not a big injury, or if I like feel the adrenaline coming in. Like I'll try to like do anything, you know. And yeah, so we ended up losing that. We got second place. It wasn't bad. It was like a good run. But yeah, obviously I went home from Florida. I went to the hospital. I went to the hospital actually right after the game that I got injured in. They told me I was good. They told me I was perfect, that my knee was good. Yeah, they did an MRI and everything. It was weird. It was weird, and they told me I was good, but I wasn't feeling good. I came back home a week after, and I was just like, "Hey, like my knee keeps like getting stuck, you know." And I was like, "Yeah, no, something's not right. I can't really bend it. I can't sleep properly." So I ended up going to the hospital. I ended up like getting another MRI, and then they told me that basically this was an ACL, a bunch of ligaments were kind of messed up, and that minimum was gonna be a year and a half. That's what they originally told me. And obviously, like hearing that news, it was hard, because I've been through. I got the one I'm coming back from is my right, but I recently, not recently, but I got the left one injured, and like when I was 15, not ACL, but like it was like dead bones. I don't know what it was, but it took me out for a year too. So like I already went through a big injury, but obviously like going through a big injury, like at the place where I was from, we're coming back from like a where I was doing good for like 6 months. I was like in a good rhythm. I was in like I'm still young. It kind of like it messes you up mentally, because it just like it gets to you because you're like, okay, like now I have to wait a year and a half. The doctor's over here telling me like, hey, you have to wait a year and a half. Like this is a really big injury. Obviously, like all that stuff, like it scares you, as a player. And yeah, I remember when I heard that news, I just shut out. To be honest, like I was just like stunned because I was just like, now what I do, because it's like I had this big plan for next year, where I wanted to accomplish a lot of things, like get more minutes and all this and all that, and then obviously like I mean, there's nothing I could do about it, but it like you look back at it a lot, and you're like, oh, what could I have changed if I didn't run to that player?
Mm.
But at the end of the day, like it was gonna happen, like things happen for a reason. That's what I believe in. So yeah, that was kind of my experience with the injury. And like yeah, now obviously like I did therapy, I did everything that I was supposed to because I was like eager to come back. Fortunately, 3 months into like the therapy, the my therapist was like, "Hey, like you're making really good progress. I don't know if you're open to like kind of doing work that's like 5 months in, And I'm like, "Oh no, for sure. Like if you think I'm ready for that, like I'm for sure open to that." So we started doing like changing directions, hopping, all this extra stuff that like wasn't anticipated until like 2 months later. And I really wasn't like truthfully, I wasn't having any problems with it. And she's like, as long as you're not having any problems with it, like that's good. Like that's showing that you're like really good in process. Like I want to continue like not forcing you, but like kind of like pushing it a little bit more to see what you're capable of like handling.
Yeah.
And then that's what we did. So we pushed it a little bit more, and then I just kept working on it. I remember like I was like jogging like 2 months, like more than expected. Like I think I was jogging like I don't know, let's say like if it was 3 months that I was supposed to jog, I was jogging like 2 months. You know what I mean? Like it was like
Yeah.
earlier
Yeah.
than the time. Yeah. So yeah, I was making really good progress, and then I remember um my trainer was like, hey, like what's it called? You should go back with your team, kind of like work with them a little bit, like not maybe on the ball, but like get used to it, this and that. And I remember I came back to OC, and I was originally doing like just 1 week because it was like a long drive still. So I'd come back one time with OC, and I kind of work on my trainer there, and then she really helped me a lot too. And yeah, she also told me the same thing where I was like making really good progress. And then I remember like after coming once a week, I slowly came like twice a week, and then I came twice a week for a long time. And that's when my coach told me, he's like, hey, like, I need you to come. Like, now that you're coming now and more, I need you to seriously come, like, all the days. Like, it'll show me that you're committed. And in my head, I'm just like, I do want to come all the days, but like, I'm not 100% yet.
Right.
But like, for him to like for me to show him that I was committed, I kind of like was like, okay, you know what, like, I'm not gonna argue on that. Like, I understand what he's saying, like, just to be around the environment. So I was like, okay, like I'm gonna come all the 5 days. And then I ended up coming the 5 days. At that point, I didn't feel like 100% ready. I'd say I felt like a 80% ready,
Okay.
but I didn't feel like 100% ready to like come back and like come back to reality, you could say, like, oh, like I'm here again. And obviously I was nervous. I think that I was slowly getting into it. I would do like rondos and stuff like that. I'd be like neutral, so like nobody could really like I couldn't really defend anybody. I would just like get the ball, pass it, two touch, simple stuff. Just so like I can get used to it. And then I remember I I got excited and I was obviously like as a player and I'm still young, so like I like want to like not I wouldn't say rush back into it, but like I get excited, you know what I mean? Like I'm just like okay now, one day I feel good and one day I feel better than like the last week, and I'm just like okay yeah, maybe I'm ready now, you know. But
Yeah.
obviously like I had to be a little bit more calm. I knew that, so I ended up telling him that I wanted to play, and then he's like, no, 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 you're not playing right now. Like you're still not ready, you know. And then I was obviously like really like sad when I like when he said no. Like coming back home, I was just like, you know, like I feel like I'm ready. Like I feel like I want to play now. This is like probably like 10 months post surgery, and then he was like, yeah, no, you're not ready yet. And then I was like, okay, what I have to prove to you that I'm ready. And then he's like, you have to come consistently for 3 weeks. You know, you have to like train, like because I remember I would train one day, and then one day I'd be with the trainer, kind of just doing my own thing to like kind of like balance it, where I would like not take so much in, you know.
Right.
And I remember he told me he's like, if you want to come and you want to like get an opportunity to be rostered, you have to like keep playing every day, you know, with us, not just like being here, but also like training and stuff. And I'm
Right.
like, for sure. So I did that for like probably like 4 weeks straight. And then I told him again, I was like, hey, like, do you think I could play this upcoming game, which was like probably like 10 days from that point? And he like kind of just told me, he's like, oh, you're not ready yet. You're not fit enough. Like you look good on the ball, but off the ball, you still need a lot of work on your knee and stuff like that. And obviously hearing that, like after already being out for like almost a year, it's annoying because it's like you're constantly like thinking like okay like what I have to do to prove to him that like I could what's it called be back, but also what I have to do to like prove myself that like I know 100% I could be back as well, because you know.
That's
Yeah,
what I was going to
so
ask you. Yeah.
yeah, so that's what I was kind of like fighting in my head against, like okay, I'm telling him I'm ready, but like do I 100% know I'm ready, you know.
Mm.
So I kind of like took time, and I was just like, you know what, like I need to like be smart about a lot of the things. And I probably like set out for another like 2 3 weeks after that. And then I remember he told me, he's like, hey, the next game you'll be rostered, you know. And I remember telling him like, oh my gosh, like thank you so much, like I'm for sure ready, this and that. And he's like, oh yeah, no, you're good, you're good. I can't like promise you that you're gonna play or anything, you know. Like basically he like, I think like in that situation, he kind of told me like I was gonna be rostered, but I wasn't really gonna play. You know, that was like the idea of it. Because I remember there was also like 10 other guys on the bench, you know, and yeah, so we ended up playing that game like, a couple days later, like a week later, and the OC team was actually losing, like they were losing like 3-0, and it was like minute like 60, and I started like warming up. And I like I kept looking at the coaches. I was like, hey, like I'm ready, you know. And I
Right.
was like, I was all hyped. I was all with the adrenaline and everything. And obviously, like it was 3-0, so not that they didn't care, but they were like, okay, let's give this guy like the chance again, you know. It's 3-0. So yeah, so I ended up playing like a good like 25 minutes that game, which was like pretty good. Like I was really happy with that. And yeah, we ended up losing still, but we lost 3-1. I got like I wouldn't say like the assist. It was like a cross, and then it rebounded to one of our players, and then it was a goal. But it was a good game. I played good, and obviously like that gave me confidence to like go into it again, you know, into training and feel good after that. And I think from that point there, like that's where I kind of just started like consistently play. You know, even coming back to my first game, I was kind of heavy. You know, I was like not the fittest,
Right.
obviously, because I'm like I just came back from injury, but yeah, I probably played like 4 games after that, 4 or 5 games after that, and I got like, which is pretty good. I actually ended up like 2024. I ended up like better than I expected because I just wanted like 1 or 2 games out of it, and I ended up getting like six.
Mm.
So I was happy about that. But yeah, no, obviously like this preseason, or like I guess you can call it like off work season.
Right.
I like took the time to like actually work. I was like, okay, like I feel good now, but like I've been gone for a year. Like I feel like I've been missing from a lot of the things. So I need to like make this preseason like really good, you know? Like I need to work on myself, on everything. And I ended up working with this trainer. His name's Mo. He's a really good trainer to be honest. But I ended up working with him and he helped me get like fitter. He helped me get I remember we'd go to the gym or we'd do like on sessions like over here like 10 minutes away from my house. And no, it was really good to be honest, man. Like I lost a lot of weight, like I told you. Obviously, like when I came back to preseason like a week ago, a lot of the coaches were really surprised because they were like, "Oh, Johnny, you lost a lot of weight. You look good," you know. And then, yeah, no, I feel really good right now, to be honest with you, man. Like I feel better than like before my injury, so I'm just happy. Yeah, no, for sure.
So I gotta ask though too. I mean, and you went into this more, at least to the latter part of your journey. But how do you get back to trusting yourself? Where's that
Yeah,
mental hurdle?
yeah, for sure. I think that mentally, like, I mean, I think that like just speaking for myself, like, or everybody that's like been around me, I think can say too. But like, I feel like mentally I've been like strong because even at a young age, like I felt like I've been like not. I want to say I've been through a lot because obviously a lot of people go through a lot, and a lot of people gone through more, mostly in soccer, you know. But I feel like mentally, I try to like be hard. Obviously, like picking up this injury on the other side when I was 15, I think it helped me kind of like build character as well because I was like, okay, I've already been through a big injury, you know? So it's nothing like out of the ordinary compared to like if I weren't have like a big injury like that, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that I like more of it comes like being smart as well. Like I wouldn't say I came into it like, oh, like I'm gonna be like getting every ball I see and this and that, you know? Like I think the first like 4 or 5 games I played, I probably was like kind of playing it safe. Like say there was a ball where it was 50-50 in the air.
Mhm.
I probably wouldn't like get it. I would just get the rebound of like that 50-50. You know what I mean? Or yeah, or like a tackle where I saw where it wasn't like 100% gonna be my ball. I kind of step out of it because I'm like, okay, like I want to win it, but as much as I want to win it, I don't want to get injured again. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I think that mentally, like I was kind of trying to be smart into like not getting injured again. Obviously, like I was scared, but I think that every player is gonna have that coming back into it. But like they gotta kind of like just like you could be scared, just know how to control it. You know what I mean? Like know how to like know like when it's scared, but in a way where like you're changing your style in a good way, and
Mhm.
scared in a way like oh like you're scared to like do everything. You know what I mean? So yeah. Also like when I would get the ball, like there was a lot of movements that I did, like a lot of touches where I would do, or like a lot of places where I would like try to receive the ball where there wasn't pressure. So it'd give me more time and I wouldn't feel like as much press like to like get injured or any of that. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I think that's what it comes. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's a crazy mental game. I mean, the more I talk with some of these guys, the more I realize just how much back and forth that there really is just within your own head, but also, just understanding that you still need to be playing to the best of your ability moving forward. Like that's something that I think a lot of guys need to continue to just wrap their heads around, but sometimes it's even more heightened in the pro environment. And
Yeah.
from I don't know how much you're really able to speak on other like programs or other outlets that you could have taken, but how do you feel still being around these pros? Like a lot of these guys, they're playing for themselves, their families, where money is involved
Yeah.
now. Does that change
No, I
things?
got it. What happened? Does that what?
Like what how much does that really change things for you?
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, honestly, to be honest, I didn't start thinking about that till probably like last year because
Huh.
when I was like 16, I didn't even think about like, oh, these guys are playing for a living. Like these guys have their kids at their home, you know, like they're over here. They have to perform, like, because if they don't perform, they don't get a renewed contract, and now like what, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I never thought about it like that until probably like last year. But no, I mean, I think that it definitely changes a lot of like the things where like they try to get a lot like serious or like they take it very serious the training sessions because at the end of the day that's like their job, you know? And to me, like I love that. I love feeling like that type of like energy because it's like that's what their work is basically, you know? So they're gonna
Yeah.
take it serious. And like with them taking it serious, I have to take it serious too, you know? even if like I may not have like a kid at home, you know, or I might not like have to pay this rent for this family that I have, but like me being like around that area and around that environment, it kind of just like it makes me feel a lot better because it's like, okay, like they're putting all their effort in, but not just like because they're trying to be better for me or like for this, but they're trying to like be better for themselves, you know, and that kind of pushes me into like saying like, okay, like they're not doing it for like me, they're doing it for themselves, so I'm gonna do the same thing as well, you know?
Yeah.
So
And what I
I
thought
think
was,
that's definitely
oh no, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
all
off.
right, good.
Oh, what I thought was interesting in the story that you talked about though too, this was a point. I don't know if it was your first trial or during one of the preseasons where you talked about maybe being really aggressive on the defensive side and them having that conversation with you, just saying, "Hey, you know,
Yeah.
take a step back a second, not turn it off, but
Yeah.
um, like it just being a different way that the pros go about it." So
Yeah, for sure.
my question in that case really is like with I mean, I at least with the film that I've seen with some of your preseason games that you've been able to play, years ago, and yeah, with the USL system, and other ones, it's really been the direction that I've liked as well. Like, and I think even having the conversation
Yeah.
about you about that, I think it came from a source of admiration, though. I mean, how is it something that you still think is a big part of your game and is something that characterizes the team?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, no, like I said, like that was definitely like a humbling moment when they like kind of talked to me and they were like, "Hey, like you need to calm down a little bit." You know what I mean? Because like obviously no guy my age is gonna sit there and like really say that or like kind of like
Right.
scare me in a way, you know? But I think that it changed my way, like my game style in a good way because I'd say like I know when to press and I know when to get aggressive in specific moments, but not like in all moments. You know, I also know moments where like I need to just calm down, let like the other team play, let them like kind of move it and see when is the right time to go. Because I think that the mindset I had like coming into it the first time was like I want to go, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. And then like after like 20 times of me going, I'm just like dead tired now. You know what I mean? And like now that I'm dead tired, like they would split me one time where like I would just get caught sleeping. You know what I mean? And now it's more like I'm not sleeping no more, but like now I'm choosing where to go. And like out of those times that I'm choosing, I'm most likely gonna get the ball because I'm certain of it. You know what I mean? But like now I'm not as tired where I'm not gonna be asleep and I'm not gonna get like split or any of that. You know what I mean? So I think that that definitely helped me a lot. Obviously, like them kind of like they didn't have the best tone when they told me, so I was kind of like when they kind of tell me that like very direct, it's like you have to wake up and you have to actually listen to them because like at the end of the day they're older than you. They're more experienced. Like they know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? So you kind of have to like respect it in that way and tell and be like, okay, like I'm gonna listen to you. I'm gonna take your advice. I'm gonna see how like what it does for me, and if it benefits me, then like you are right. You know what I mean? So yeah.
No, and that comes to a point where you still need to be confident in the kind of player that you are, but also understanding, like you said, like these are the guys who have been here for years and these are the pros that just have that experience.
Mhm.
So the other part of that though too, I think is also the improvement in the decision making, like you talked about, not being tired all the time, and that inherently improves your in-game decision.
For
So
sure.
that's also something that I think is a real strength of yours as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is the first time that you're hearing this. Like, how do you consistently look to make those improvements in game? Does it come with in-game reps, or is it something that you can train off the field? What does it look like for you?
The like consistently like trying to get at the ball or like what do you mean?
Just decision making, whether it is on
Oh,
the
okay. This,
ball, yeah,
yeah.
that kind of work, on or off.
Yeah, I mean I think that all in all, I think when it comes to decision making, I think that he's not there anymore, but he was assistant coach for Orange County last year and well all the years I've basically been there except for this year. But he kind of just helped me a lot. He'd give me like a tracker to test my touches and stuff like that, or like he would like look back through film with me. And I remember like every decision, like when I thought I had a good game, he'd kind of like humble me and be like, "Yeah, you had a good game, but let me tell you what you did wrong." You know what I mean? And then
Right.
I'd come back from the game and I'd be like, like now instead of which is a good feeling to be honest. Now I look back at it and just like I want to have the feeling where like, oh, I had a good game, but I also want to have the feeling like oh, even if I had a good game, I want to fix those little mistakes that I made. You know what I mean? So he was kind of the coach that humbled me in that way and told me like you had a good game, enjoy that, but like also we got to look back Monday and see like what you did wrong. You know what I mean? And obviously, like in every game, you're gonna lose the ball. You're gonna like it's not gonna be perfect. It's not gonna go your way all the time. But he was more of a coach that was like, it's not gonna be perfect, but I want you to be almost perfect. And then if you're not perfect, I want you to like get the ball like right when you lose it. Like you have to like go get the ball. You know what I mean? So I think that when it comes to decision making, like he helped me a lot in that. Also, going back to like Kevin, for example, I remember when I was first with the first team, I'd kind of just like not be scared, but I kind of just want to like I'd get the ball and I kind of just want to like get off of it, like with one touch or two touches, you know? And I used to think like, oh, 1 or 2 touches is good, which it is, you know? You kind of have to like read the room and see like how like the level is and like the speed is of the game. But sometimes you got to be like calm. Sometimes you got to like just like put your foot on the ball and be like, okay, like now what I do, you know, like let me calm the play, let me wait till everybody's like set, you know, let me see like if there's any splits, any like through balls, any of that, you know. So it's obviously like knowing their opponent and knowing your teammates and just knowing your coaches as well. Yeah.
So with all the improvements and all the getting back to this point again, where you're now in preseason, you're still on that academy deal, but still able to go get those pro minutes and training with the first team. There's obviously this plan for you, whether you know it or not, for where Orange County definitely sees you as being a great
Yeah.
young player in the future. So
Yeah.
your perspective of, what you're looking forward to with this upcoming year, this upcoming season, give me a bit of an insight of where you see yourself being able really to perform the best in these next few months again until, the end of the year.
For sure, yeah, no. Yeah, like I said, like every day I honestly feel better coming back from my injury. Um, I feel better than like 2 months ago when I played my first game or 3 months ago when I played my first game. You know, but I think this preseason, like it just helps a lot coming back into it, kind of just like to get used to it again. You know, like being again with the first team guys, like getting used to like how they play, how I play, meaning like the new signings, you know, all of that is like amazing. Obviously like me, I mean every year you want to like do as much as you could. So I'm gonna say like obviously like I want to get more exposure. Obviously, if it's possible for like to play against more USL teams, hopefully this year than I have ever had. You know, like that's my goal to just kind of like get more minutes, put those more minutes out there. I know we play Portland Timbers this Saturday actually, so that should be a good game. So I think I'm gonna get hopefully a decent amount of minutes. I think maybe 30, but we'll see. We'll see how it is. But yeah, no, hopefully like if I do play, I could take advantage of it. You know, it's gonna be an amazing experience and then just go kind of like day by day, to be honest. I don't wanna like think too much about it, like say like I wanna be like, oh, I wanna do this and that. I kinda just wanna like know that like I do good and just like day by day and then see like what rewards I get out of that, you know? But yeah. But for sure, like excited about this weekend. My first MLS team that I'll play against, so it's exciting.
And it won't be the last, bro, whether it ends up being
Hopefully, yeah,
looking at other things but I'm rooting for
yeah,
you, man. You got a supporter in me the
yeah.
rest
No.
of the
Hopefully, yeah, no, for sure, man. I hope it won't be the last because like that's amazing. Portland Timbers is good.
night. Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
Johnny, man, I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate you want to come on really quickly. I know, a couple of scheduling things here and there, but I'm glad we get to talk now. It's been awesome to be able to talk with you. But,
yeah,
I always want to just leave this open at the end of the day or at the end of the interview, just in case there's anything that you want to say to a young kid who's going to be watching this or, make this like, anything that you want to put out there on the internet,
yeah, for sure.
more than we've already talked about. I want to leave the floor to you. But otherwise, all the best to you, and I'm looking forward to what you can do in the future with OBC.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think that one message I'd probably say is like it's more of a mental game than it is like a physical game. You know what I mean? Like, and that goes with everything. Like that goes with like a lot of players, like, and me myself included. Like, I'll perform way better in the academy, and then when I get to the first team, I'm sometimes I lack. Sometimes you know because it's like it's a mental game where you get scared. You know, and I think that you just gotta fight through it, and then you can't let yourself down. Same with injuries, you know what I mean? Like, there's been a lot of times where even myself, like, I've put myself down, I've like shut down, but I think that all in all, like, I've like got past that, you know? And once you get past it, you'll realize that like it just built character. Like it really did, you know? Like it just makes you more prepared for the next time it's a hard time. You know what I mean? Because there's gonna be hard times. Your career or whatever you do, like it's not gonna be like like a perfect straight line. It's gonna be curves, but it's just how you handle it, you know? So that's probably the message I would say.
Johnny, all the best to you, man. You got
Thank
you
you, man. Appreciate it.
look forward to me watching every game upcoming. Anyone that I'd actually be able to watch. I'm out in New York. I can't make it out to OC during the school season, although I wish I could. But you guys
Appreciate
supported me regardless.
appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right, I'll see you around.
I'll see you, man.